Welcome back. This will be probably, actually not probably, but certainly the last episode of this series. It will be short because I just want to present some of the conclusions and talk rather briefly about what's left to do with this camera. I also have the proof that I didn't mess it up. All right, I'll start with the proof, meaning the images, and then I will go to the little bits that are still needed. All right, okay, this is my workbench. As you can see, slightly different angle, same mess. This was a mistake, actually. For some stupid reason, I was quite sure there was no image left in the pack, but because obviously film is expensive and I have this weird thing with making double, triple sure that even if there would be an image in the pack, I wouldn't totally waste it. I did focus on the camera, so I took a shot, and to my surprise, a paper came out. All right, so yeah, but obviously it seems pretty well exposed. This is yours truly, the mandatory self-portrait. Some glare from my overhead lights, but you get the point. And this is the first image on the pack. It says 600 on the back, and I took pretty much the same image both on this camera, so 600 film after the conversion, and the other one, the white one, that still had one image left. That's an SX-70 film. I wanted to see, to make a comparison from the exposure point of view, because I knew the SX-70 was exposing pretty much correct, so I needed this comparison. From what I can tell, the exposure is the same. Minimum differences that I think could be down to the film, to the film characteristics. For instance, the SX-70 managed to keep details in this post, unlike this one. It was a very foggy day. This one seems just slightly less exposed than this one, but overall I like this one a lot more, so I decided to not replace the capacitor again. On the SX-70 image, I made the mistake of actually closing the camera without pulling the picture out completely. I don't know, I guess I was trying to very quickly get it in a warmer place because it was quite cold outside. So this happened, right? Because, no, actually not. It goes like this, right? When it gets out of the pack. So yeah, something happened. For I don't know what reason, I kind of have the same issue on both, and it was a non-recurrent issue because this was image number 1, then this was image number 2, and then this was image number 3. So both these two images are perfectly exposed, I mean perfectly developed from top to bottom. Maybe in this one there is a little bit of something that's an unevenness, but it's probably nothing. But this one is perfectly fine. So I don't know if it was because it was the first image. I don't know if it's because I didn't clean the rollers enough, because it was cold. I have no idea. But overall, I really like this image a lot more than this one. First of all, I like the tones better, the slightly greenish cast, and second of all, I like the fact that I got that guy in the picture. I saw him coming, and I waited until he was in the frame, took the picture, and yes, that is that. So basically the conversion was so far a success. The camera works nice, not as nice as the white one. The white one is unbelievably nice. It's so smooth. This one is a bit rough around the edges because, you know, it's the one that has had. The one that had all the rust. I had to polish the rails, whatever. All right. So right now it's back in its complete form. I used, I got today in the mail the Kapton, is it called? The Kapton tape. Okay, so the isolating tape. A bit thin, but I kind of made a mistake when measuring. It's perfectly fine. So I got everything isolated. I re-soldered all those 7 contacts. I finally got myself some flux. It's such a difference. First time using it. And I was really debating whether to keep the original leather or not. As you can see, there's a color difference. I don't really mind, but after all this work, to not reskin it, I don't know. This one is full of imperfections. This one has some imperfections. The one on the bottom plate that I peeled off without heating, it's in a somewhat rough shape. So I kind of decided, okay, let me check to see what other colors of leather I've got, because I showed you before I had that cognac color, brown cognac for the white one that pretty much matched the original color, and it looks beautiful. And luckily I have something that actually matches this one. It's almost the same, a bit different texture. This one is more rough in appearance, but it's actually very smooth and it's very soft. This one seems to be I don't know, maybe more resistant, more, I don't know, thicker, but it's not thicker, it just looks thicker because the grain is finer. As for thickness, actual thickness, I don't really know because I didn't measure the other one. But I'd say it's kind of the same. So this one has 1.1. Actually, it depends on where you measure it. 0.9, 1.1. Okay, and I also got this one out. I didn't clean this sticky part because I'm just going to stick it over. I don't expect I'm gonna see any kind of dents. This one has been cleaned. I don't know, maybe I'll clean it, I'll see. And here, this is a baking paper, because this panel has some plastic rivets, 2 holes for 2 screws, and nothing on the top. And this top part was a bit flippy because I think it was actually glued. I mean, I did see some traces of glue. So I reapplied, I pulled on it, reapplied some glue on the edge, put it down, got the baking paper on top so it wouldn't stick to the table, and I just left it like this for a while. Okay, this panel goes here, this panel will go here, and this will be the overall final look of the camera. I think it's super nice. Also, unlike the white and cognac camera, I kind of googled what should I do to finish the edges. I know you can burnish, yeah, you can burnish the edges, but that doesn't really work for a leather this thin, because it doesn't keep its shape. If it was, I don't know, or if it were something like 3 mil is like this thick, then yeah, that would have worked, but it's not. So burnishing is out of the question. Another option is painting. And that's what I did. I used black paint because, actually not because, but the original one was also black painted on the edge. I didn't realize, I didn't check it out, but I imagined a black rim would give it a nice contrast. Obviously my paintwork is not as nice as the original, but it's decent. As for paint, I used what I had, and that is black enamel paint, or how the English speakers would say, black enamel paint. Actually, I used flat black, but I don't know. It's not, oh, here it is. So flat black from Tamiya. Most likely a blasphemy. Most likely it's not what I should have used, but I don't have anything else, and I do not intend to buy some fancy paint for this. It's not worth it. It's just an edge. I'm only interested in the fibers to not start to show, and probably it will be a lot more resistant in time, and it kind of seals the edges, so I guess that is alright. Alright, that's pretty much all that I need to do in order to finish it. Oh, as for painting, I found that the nicest and easiest method is to take the jar of paint, shake it well, open the cap, and then with a toothpick get a bit of paint and carefully apply it. And I keep the leather like this, so the grains are facing me and the finished surface is facing away, so that when I touch the leather with the toothpick at an angle, it can overflow on this side but not on the other side. I don't know if that makes sense, but for me it worked. Okay, I will also make a very short epilogue, so that would be something like episode 11, with the finished product, so everything replaced, and with the other one, the white and cognac, and the pictures that I took on that one, so we can have a comparison. It's not a fair comparison, it's not a correct comparison. All the shots that I took on the SX-70 film, so on the white one that is not converted, except one that is, let's just say, not safe for work. So all the shots were taken outside in pretty cold weather. Some shots were taken at like 0 degrees Celsius, some were taken a couple of degrees above zero, but still outside. And I tried to keep each image in my chest pocket while developing, so it would be both dark and somewhat warm, but it shows it's incredibly sensitive to cold. But I'm not going to explain more now. We will talk in the next episode with the actual images in front of the camera. All right, I will see you next time.